So the latest big thing happened in the news, and I'm here to tell you about what you should think about it. Nah, I'm just kidding. Welcome to the Risen Fallen Podcast. I am your host. My name is Mark Henriksen, and if you're brand new to this show, then what you can expect is open and authentic conversations about things like self-development, mental health, and how to get your life sorted out and in the right direction, even if you're not in the place that you want to be right now, or you're not, living the life that you'd like to live, at least getting one step closer every single day. And if you're not new to this show, then thank you very much for coming back and supporting the journey, supporting the cause, and I appreciate you. Whether you're brand new to this or not, you are the reason that I do what I do. And it is a beautiful Saturday night. I'm about to go to bed. And I had a pretty good day today. It was, a pretty solid day. Woke up, did some recording, did some workouts, went for a run, just worked on the podcast all day, and then went out and did a little bit of shopping, and now here we are. We're sitting down and chatting away. So happy Thursday. I know it's we're just plugging away through this week here, and anyways, I was sitting down today and I was going through my social media and going through the news, just kind of taking a little break on my work for the day, and I'm scrolling through social media, I'm scrolling through the news, and I just see all of the same shit everywhere. Like, everyone's talking about the exact same thing, and I'm sure you guys see this too. Like, the next big thing breaks out in the news, and everyone's starting to talk about it and post about it and tell you what you should think, and everyone's so bipartisan nowadays, so depending on what views you have on the world, it kind of sets your views for the rest of the world too. It's so weird how society is so divided now. And now whenever anything big happens in the news, whether it's a viral pandemic, a war going on, disputes between two distinct groups that they've broken us into, it's like the mainstream news puts it out, and then it flows into social media via news sites or political pundits, and then it trickles down into putting emojis of what flags you support, and putting your pronouns and putting your everything on your social media, and telling people, I stand with this, I stand with that, I stand with, I'm up to date, I know all these things, I have all these, opinions, and look at how good of a person I am because this is what I think. And I put this on my profile. So you either agree with me or you're the enemy. And it's just, it's so, I was thinking earlier this week as I was at work, and I'm seeing all my friends, and, I fall victim to this too. I do the same shit too. But I see like a lot of people post like, the next thing happens, in the world. And then all of a sudden everybody's obviously so super informed about it on the first day that they have to tell you everything that they obviously know because they know so much, and tell you what you have to think. And then if you don't agree, somehow you're an idiot, or even worse, like you're evil. Like, not only are you dumb, you're evil. And it's just so crazy, man. It's like, how do we fall into this? Like, why? When are we going to realize that any story that we hear about any event in this world, it's The only purpose for the mainstream media is to make the richest people in the world even richer, to divide us, to discourage us, to make us dependent, to make us hate each other, to make us distracted, to make us lazy. There's never going to be a story that breaks out that's going to improve your life, make your life better. There's never going to be a story that breaks out that, draws your attention to the sliver of hope you should have for humanity. Like these types of current events and news stories that break out are always made to drive fear, drive hatred, drive division, separate us, make each other look at each other as something other than what we are, and separate us. And if it's not any of that, it's to distract us from actual important things. It's made to discourage us from having hope. And it's made to entertain us and to drive revenue and to make the richest people in the world even richer. And so it's just a weird observation that I was making today, how we all fall into this pattern, this rhythm. And, there's even, there's someone that there's a guy that listens to this podcast, and he lives in another part of Canada. We DM each other all the time. And we were talking about this kind of thing and talking about the opportunities that we have here in Canada and how they are, in terms of the rest of the world, we're pretty free, but in terms of where we should be at, there's a lot of limitations on what we can do and how easy it is to pursue opportunities in Canada compared to the US. And, the other day we were talking and he's like, you seem extremely eternally optimistic. And I am, I kind of am. And maybe that's to a fault, but I just think that, a lot of the times with these current events and these things that are happening, I always think about it as what's the most productive use of my time right now? What's the most productive use of my energy, of my thoughts? And I try and think for myself personally, what's the best way that I can at least make my existence and maybe one other person's existence a little bit better. And that's what I try and tell myself and what I try and remind myself of as well, because I get stressed out about, a lot of things as well that go on in the world, current events, as you guys know. If you follow me on Instagram, I talk about it as well. But I think that the most productive thing that we can do kind of falls in line exactly with what I talk about all the time, which is just making yourself better, making yourself more in the image of what you're looking to see in the news. If you see all this trouble, this strife, this adversity going on in the world, this hatred, this division, anything like that, I think the most productive thing that you can do is embody what you think the world should be like. There's that Gandhi quote. I just realized I almost plagiarized. It's be the change you want to see in the world. Is that what it is? And I think that kind of rings true to exactly what I'm trying to say. Is look, you want this world to be a better place? I'm sure you could start with yourself. I think that if you want to improve the world and the place that you live, it starts as an individual movement, in individually improving yourself and making yourself better. You want the world to be, filled with people with strong values that, stand up for what's right. Then you have to do that. You want this world to be more patient and more loving. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to lead by example. If you want, if you want to make a change in this world, you're going to have to embody it first. Even from the Stoic philosophy, that rings true as well, where, there's the quote of, don't preach your philosophy, embody it. I think you guys get the message. Kind of just rambling on here, so I will give this out a close, but I just wanted to make this little reminder for you guys. And you'll have to excuse me because it is getting late here. It's 8:17, which is just getting to my bedtime here. And so, yeah, I just, I thought I'd record this and just kind of share my thoughts on, the news cycle and the current events and how they impact us and how they impact our stress levels and our lives and the way we interact with each other. And I think it is just so, like, it's so distant from how humans developed, where something can happen on one side of the world and on the other side of the earth, people are fucking arguing about it at at family dinners. And they're getting, it's crazy how much these things can divide us and how powerful the propaganda is out there. And I just wanted to give you guys this reminder of, like, look, you look around at all the people that all the people that you've met in your life. Most likely, if you were to ask, 1,000 questions about personal values, aside from the, bipartisan, political, controversial, quote unquote, fact check topics, most of us probably align on like 90% of things. It's like, do you think it's right to punch that person? No. Okay, I think we can all agree on that. Do you think it's all right to steal? For the most part, no. I think everyone's going to agree with that. There's some crazy people out there that'll try and justify that, but I think that if you were to line up most reasonable topics and you ask everyone you've ever met in your entire life, I feel like most of us would align on like 90% of things. And then there's the topics, the bipartisan, controversial topics on the outsides of those things where we might disagree here and there, and we maybe don't see the world the same way, and that's perfectly fine. But somehow the media and the propaganda out there is able to find the cracks in the armor and to find where they can divide us and how they can get us to argue with each other and bicker with each other and not get along, because that's the real answer of how we make our lives better. Like the people that make the media and the propaganda aren't the same people as us. They live in completely different worlds. And so, for everyday people like you and me, the real answer is to create unity and to create bonds with other human beings, the way that human beings developed in communities, with love and compassion. And yeah, there's the odd guy in the community you don't get along with, but you either ignore him and do business with him anyways and get over it and put aside your differences, or you just you don't interact with that person and you move on, and the community figures it out. But instead now we get divided and we see people as disposable, and that's due to the propaganda and the division that happens through the media. And so my reminder for you guys is just to remember about the real world where most of us agree on most things. And most people are good. And just because someone disagrees with you doesn't mean they're evil. They just think differently. They have different experiences, and I don't even know why that's even a topic of conversation. But yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think. And I don't think that we should allow media to divide us any longer. But on that note, I'm going to get to bed now. So I love you guys. Share this with somebody if you feel like it has some value or you feel like they need to hear this message, and hopefully I was able to deliver it in a way. I know I wasn't that aggressive today because it is a little bit later for me. I'm lower energy, but thank you for sticking with me through this. I will see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend. Don't let the media divide you. Don't get sucked into your social media or your phone or anything like that. Enjoy life, be present, spend time with people you love, and do things that scare you. So on that note, much love, peace out, see you on Monday, bye.